Yeah, we are watching the Sony issues damage control after player feedback mocked and rumors of crippling intergalactic budget. Oh, I can't wait for this game to fail. I can't wait. It's going to be very well deserved. Very well deserved. Here we go. Another Refs Stezu.
So in this video, we'll be going over the many problems currently facing Sony, most of which have to do with their poor management of their resources and the games and studios they are prioritizing right now. We're going to be looking at the Marathon and Destiny situation where Sony is helping facilitate a new allocation of resources from Destiny to Marathon in a desperate attempt to save and pump some life into Marathon, which has already cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. And when some
they would be better off to just shut Marathon down and go balls deep into Destiny 2, but they already did the opposite. They already said that there will not be any new content for Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is dead. So is Marathon, but that's more from, you know, the players. There's no one there.
Players have an issue with this new direction by Sony and its studios.
Oh, by the way, just so we are on the same point, let's go. Destiny 2, 78,000 players. Great, right? Marathon, 5K. So we are on the same point. Destiny 2, people love it for whatever reason. Marathon, no one likes it. With the exception of a couple thousand people.
Told by members of the Marathon team to go and play other games. But first, I want to talk about a controversy facing Naughty Dog, where there's some rumors that Sony is not happy with Naughty Dog, particularly when it comes to the ballooning budget of their game Intergalactic, which has been in development for around 6 years at this point.
Oh god. Yeah, I don't believe that this game can succeed. I think it's just too expensive. It's just too expensive.
And there's
especially if it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive title, it will never make its money back. Never.
No end in sight. We have seen some claims that this game is years away from release, and you can see it's not.
Wait, are you telling me that this game is going to be at the same range of development time-wise as GTA 6? GTA 6 at least will make some money, right? But this will not. This will absolutely not make money. What was the last game that Naughty Dog made that was actually good? The Last of Us 1.
Just a massive budget that's facing this game. It's also a very poor reception. You can see the
well, maybe one of the Uncharted games. I forgot all about the Uncharted games. I think they made them, right? I think, I'm not sure, actually. I never played them.
Trailer for Intergalactic with 125,000 likes versus 315,000 dislikes. A lot of people just not impressed with the trailer itself, and also the choice of main protagonist,
of course,
who's also played by an actress who has been openly mocking any of the criticism of the character design or the trailer itself, reposting art like this, making fun of the incels who are mad about the game, and also saying so DI-licious. Now, this might have worked in 2020, but not currently. This only added more fuel to the fire with this game, which of course is reflected in responses like this when asked in May of this year, what would sell you on Intergalactic? Different actress, different studio, different story,
yes.
Which unfortunately is not an option at this point because Naughty Dog has invested a ton into this game. Hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, back in December of 2025, there was mandatory overtime for the employees at Naughty Dog to try.
How much you wanna bet that this game will cause the downfall for Naughty Dog? I'm gonna bet on it. This will crush Naughty Dog. The studio will cease to exist if this game comes out. If it ever comes out. Sony might actually... I wouldn't be surprised if Sony shuts the studio down and just cancels the game and everything. Because at this point, why spend the money?
To get this thing going. A game which, by the way, might not come out for years, according to people who helped work on the project. And on top of that, we have the Dragon Age, the Veilguard enthusiast, Jason Schreier here, an industry insider, who was not only responsible for that last report, but is also getting into some controversy for comments he made about Naughty Dog. Now, in case you forgot, This is the guy who, in response to the day one numbers of Dragon Age the Veilguard, said, "Go woke, go top the charts," and said he doesn't care about the game, he just likes seeing chuds get dunked on. Well, based on some of his recent comments, people have come to the conclusion that, as an insider making these comments, Jason Schreier was heavily implying that Sony is not happy with Naughty Dog, in particular with the ballooning budget of Intergalactic. Now,
so if I would be Sony, I would take all these IPs, well, with exception of this one, I would completely discard this one. And this one, I would completely discard the second game. And I would give them to Eastern Studios and tell them to make games. Just that. Just make a good game there. Problem solution. And shut down Naughty Dog. Fire everyone. Just fire everyone. Put them on a list to never hire these people ever again. For any of your studios. There. And never work with a studio that never work with a studio that the head of Naughty Dog is going to work for in the future. Completely ostracize them, that guy. Completely.
Now, Jason Schreier would make multiple posts on social media saying his comments were out of context. Well, here's the full context of the conversation from the insane asylum known as Blue Sky, where journalists and other related hacks like Jason Schreier like to frequent these days because they can't take criticism on platforms like Twitter, for example. But this was the conversation. Jason Schreier saying, "A lot of people have wondered why Bungie didn't immediately start working on Destiny 3 after the final shape 2 years ago. The answer, as it usually is how much money it would take." Where a different user said, "Company that has no issue letting Naughty Dog spend 5+ years and $300 million on a single-player title is now concerned about spending money on a new MMO shooter with a built-in fan base. Just fantastic." And Jason Schreier would reply to that saying, "Oh, they definitely have an issue with that." Now, a lot of people saw these comments in this full context and thought, or at least reasonably thought, that Jason Schreier was implying that Sony had an issue with a massive budget and resources being pushed by Naughty Dog into Intergalactic. I think that is not a crazy thing to pull from these responses. In fact,
which makes sense, yeah, I can see that.
As a insider in the gaming industry, I think it would be understandable to think, maybe that is a conclusion some people might come to. I should be a little more careful with my words. Well, Jason Schreier would clarify twice what he meant, beginning with this post saying, "In what world could this be read as Sony having issues with Naughty Dog specifically, when the entire premise is someone asking why Sony only has an issue with Bungie, and my response is saying that's not the case. The whole point of this response is that Sony, like other game companies, have an issue with swelling budgets and timelines wherever they might be. And then Jason Schreier would go to Reddit to triple down, saying he wouldn't need any clarification if people would stop posting his replies out of context with wildly misleading tweets and headlines.
Then why don't you just say what you mean? Just clarify what you mean. I mean, it's not hard, right? Oh my god.
And that he reported that Sony hadn't greenlit Destiny 3 because of the cost. Someone said something about Sony having an issue with Destiny 3's cost, but not Naughty Dog's costs. I said, of course, they had an issue with Naughty Dog's costs, and somehow that was misinterpreted by wide swaths of the internet to mean that Sony is angry at Naughty Dog. Absurd. No.
Maybe you should have written more text to actually explain what you mean. I mean, the original was just one sentence, right? Of course it can be misinterpreted. Man, that guy is not very intelligent.
I don't think it's really that absurd that people are pulling from your comments that Sony is not happy with the massive budget that has been dedicated to Naughty Dog's Intergalactic. I don't think that is a wild or misleading headline. I think that's a pretty reasonable interpretation of the first set of interactions. And if he didn't want people to start making those sorts of conclusions based on his words, then maybe he should have been more clear in the first place. But basically what he's saying here is, if you think Sony is mad at Naughty Dog, you're absurd, but let me clarify that clearly there's an issue with Naughty Dog's costs, which doesn't sound that very departed from one another. But this is just kind of par for the course. Sony is in some big trouble, and it's not just with single player, it's also with live service games, where you can see
15 games and studios. Wow, that's a lot. So how much money is that? 3-4 billion? That's of course a guess, but I think that would be a good guess.
15 games and studios have been killed over the last couple of years because of this big push. And it's not all about Intergalactic and what's going on with Naughty Dog. This is an issue with Sony in general, where we've seen a long list of live service games being canceled during the PS5 era. And boy, one of those that people thought was going to come next was Marathon. But for the moment, it doesn't look like Marathon is going to be the next canceled live service game, despite Sony reporting a near $1 billion impairment loss due to the underperformance of Bungie, specifically when it comes to Marathon. And you guys know the story. I talked about Marathon. This game is a flop. Yes,
it's a mess.
It is doing better than the average game. But based on the amount of resources put into this, this is not going to cut it.
Not at all.
8,300 in-game players. Look at the numbers since release. Does this look like a successful live service game to you? And only
now we have to be very, very fair here. They did have an uptick. That's when a DLC or something came out, and it did take about close to 2 weeks for it to, being done. A week, about 2 weeks, more players, and then that's it. Great.
the first 2 months, it's completely flatlined. No, this is not what a successful live service game looks like. But of course, with the end of new content, with Destiny 2 coming up very, very soon, Bungie devs have confirmed their long-term commitment to Marathon. So it's no secret that some of the resources from Destiny are being reallocated over to Marathon. And the Bungie devs are confirming that not only working on the current seasons, but multiple seasons into the future.
As we're continuing to build seasons in the future, not just season 2, but season 3 and season 4, we're going to keep hammering at how do we make it so everyone really appreciates that survival journey better.
What can we improve? How can we shift this experience to just be cool or just be more fun?
I want to be able to have our game be this launching point into a whole bunch of different experiences and stories that.
Do you guys believe that there's going to be that much more content coming out for Marathon?
No.
Or do you think they're going to stop the bleeding at some point? I mean, nobody's really impressed by this.
I don't even believe that this is true. I think this is just they're saying that so they maybe get more people coming into the game now. I don't even trust them that they actually have any plans.
In fact, there's a reason why a lot of people feel like this was a bad move, where we have the end of Destiny 2 coming very soon, and now this heightened focus on Marathon. And honestly, looking at the reaction, people seem to not agree. In fact, there was a petition for Destiny 3 getting nearly 100,000 verified signatures in its first day. I mean, we think about some of the modern audience type slop that had change.org petitions, right? Getting maybe like 10,000 signatures in a week. I mean, this shows a lot more interest in Destiny 3, for example, than any of those previous examples. And people are quick to point out, there's still more interest in Destiny 2 right now than there is in Marathon.
Oh yeah, I showed it earlier. I showed again. Marathon. 5k people. 80k. Do I need to say anything? No. Just look. 80k people. 5,000 people. See the difference?
How are things going to change around at this point? Like, how are we going to even replicate these numbers? It makes no sense that they're going to prioritize Marathon. It's like they won't let it go. But they're trying everything, including in just a week, Marathon is going to do an open play week where you can test out the game for free. This is absolutely not damage control, guys. Absolutely not. This happens all the time, right? No, it doesn't. This is a very desperate move, and get ready for all the shills.
June 2nd? June 2nd? Was it on June 2nd? June 3rd? June 2nd. Oh, wait. So it was the weekend. So the game got free to play, they got more people, and then it got back to normal. Okay. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Posting a little blip in the player numbers over this duration, acting like this is something that's going to stay. I highly doubt it. Will it breathe some life into this game? Sure. But
for about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks there were more players. And now that's gone.
How much? And was it worth moving on from Destiny to Marathon for the very foreseeable future? Of course, now we're left with some of the responses, because there is a departure of people from Destiny to Marathon, but there's also increased hostility towards Marathon, including from some Destiny 2 fans who are like, this is now what I'm supposed to go and do. I'd rather have Destiny and get more updates, more new content patches. But instead now they basically want to push me towards Marathon. I don't like that. But one of the voice direction.
Yeah, just play something else. If Destiny shuts down, Destiny 2, just go and play something else. And now, if I don't say Marathon, you obviously don't like Marathon, so don't play that. Go find something else that you want to play. Something else that's interesting to you. I actually can suggest Warframe. Yeah, try out Warframe. It's free to play. And it's a good game. I played it a little. It was too much for me. But yeah. One huge reason why I stopped playing is I don't like the art style. It's just that I don't like the art style.
Director for Marathon spoke out about this backlash, saying, critique the game, critique my work, totally acceptable. But when it comes to people who are mad at Marathon right now, he says, speak with your wallet and don't buy the game. Well, I think that's going to be a very easy task for a lot of people. Whenever you're bringing up the speak with your wallet option, you better be backing it up with something that's really good. Typically, speaking with your wallet is done when it's going to go back negatively on the target. I don't think anybody involved with Marathon should be saying speak with your wallet. I understand it's a sentiment that's like, hey, it's your choice, but I don't think you want people to speak with their wallet on this situation and when it comes to Marathon.
I mean, basically, people already did. That's why Marathons is basically dead. No one plays it. Almost no one.
Generally. But that is the situation involving Sony and multiple studios that they are, of course, running. And, well, it's not looking great. It's not looking great for Naughty Dog. It's not looking great for Bungie. And Intergalactic, Marathon. These are games that have to either massively succeed or somehow, in the case of Marathon, turn things around significantly to levels we really haven't seen in a very long time. Do you believe that either of these are going to succeed or turn things around?
Nah.
I don't think a lot
Especially not Marathon. I mean, just for me, right? What would Marathon have to change? The art style have to completely change. The FOV has to go up. I don't know. The characters are kind of slow. I don't like that. Or at least too slow for me. The characters are ugly. Change the entire art style. And change the entire. You literally have to change the entire game for me. So I will. There's no reason for me to even watch that game. Looking at the game hurts me. And I mean it literally, it hurts me. So yeah, fuck that.
people have confidence in that. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, consider giving a like to the video, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads here on YouTube, as well as multiple streams a week here on the same platform. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Yeah, I did. This was a great video. A great video, yeah. Man. Yeah, I don't think that any of these three games will succeed. At all, ever. And I believe that both studios will shut down in the near future. Give it a couple of years maybe. Well, with Bungie most likely maybe 1 year, max 2. I give Bungie 2 years, maximum 2 years, and then they are done forever. Naughty Dog, I don't know. They might. Maybe they get shut down before the game comes out. Maybe after, but they will shut down. There's nowhere in the universe that any of these free games makes money, makes a profit. I can see that. And with that, we are at the end of this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you want to let me know what you think about this mess, let me know in the comments. See you. Bye bye.